Welcome back to another reaction for the time I got reincarnated as a slime, season 4, episode 1. Ooh, we are back. Let's hope we don't have a season 3. Even though a lot of people were like, season 3, it was a lot of information and this is all to just set up the future season. And everyone is like, season 4 is going to be good. So, let's hope it is. Now I have to remember all the names again. This, I believe, Sheena. Looking for Rimuru. Now this is a good part. Rimuru is really easy to remember because chapter is called after him, her, it. We also have Diablo. I mean, you have to remember the goat. I already forgot her name. Sheena. I honestly forgot. I had it a second ago, but it went away again.
二人ともリムル様を見ませんでしたか？リムル様ですか？
嘆かわしいことに本日はまだ一度も。
そうですか。
I mean, you have to love Diablo.
リムル様、一体どちらに？
I guess he's on the throne.
よっ、はい、と。
I mean, it is quite something. We went from like a village. Additionally, this is the first episode of season 4. I'm assuming we have a lot of seasons that continue stories that we get. The first episode is always going to be somewhat of a recap. We get to see some of the stuff that happened. Here we probably are going to reminisce, whatever. We're going to remember the time where we started with the goblin village. Slowly but surely we integrated the lizard man and stuff, and the Oni, and then we grew and grew. We had the alliance with the dwarf and stuff, to now this quite big city without a wall, surprisingly, and the Colosseum that we built. We also, if I remember correctly, had a dungeon somewhere underground.
本当に大きくなったよな。俺たち魔物の国テンペストの開国祭は無事大
Shion. Right? Shion? Shion? Was it Shion? Shina? Shuna? Shin? I'm so bad with names.
成功に終わった。
Again,
最初は小さなゴブリン村だった。
it just makes sense because the last season is a little bit ago. I mean, 1 or 2 years. And you can't really expect people to go rewatch it or remember everything. So, get the most important stuff back, get everyone up to speed to know where we stand, and go.
それから少しずつ着実に大きくなって村から町へ仲間たちも増えた。テスト開放を始めたダンジョンを含め様々な都市計画が進行中だ。
Right, the dungeon. This was more or less last season, if I remember correctly, the dungeon and the Colosseum.
この調子で人と魔物が協力して暮らせる共存共栄の関係を築いていきたい。そう目指すは人魔共栄圏だ。
We also got introduced to the Greed girl last season, which seemingly is going to be a main part of this season. Dealing with her.
これからも頼りにしてるぞ相棒。りょうお任せを。
Oh, right. This guy.
マスター。
Girl. Also has a special name now. I do not remember. Again, names not my strong suit. Gobuta. I mean, one of the few that I do remember. All right, Vedora, we still have you as well. Ramirez. I am so bad at remembering girls' names. We have Dragon Girl. We have Priestess Girl. We have Cook Girl. Yon, well, I believe the cooking girl. Oh. Rain, okay. The children and that were transported here. I guess the enemy. Again, Reed Girl? Okay. No clue who you are. You have a Digimon. So, I guess. I mean, I should probably not look too much into the openings because spoiler. But we got to see, okay. We have the Dryad. The traders, on the right, yep. Good old. Oops. Shuna Shion, right? Why do I not remember Dragon Girl's name? Episode 73, sure. Why not? Really, you called it episode...
昨日は助かったよ。
なに、困った時はお互い様さ。よし、じゃあ今度は飲みに行くか。だな。
ああ、リムル様。
いや、リムル様、おはようございます。おはよう。
It is interesting that Rimuru doesn't have a problem just walking through the city, because I would believe he would be something like a hero, something like a celebrity. He not only made the city's called, named after him. He also defended the city 2 seasons, I believe, ago. Against the invasion, he decimated the enemy. He resurrected a lot of people. I feel like he would be... there's a child. If I was a child and people probably told me about how great Rimuru is and he's walking down the street, I would be like, look at him. I would go to him. I would be like, Rimuru, is it true? Is it true that, you know, you defeated a whole army? Exactly. This is how I feel like it would be if a celebrity like him would be going down the street. Her, it, whatever. Whatever gender he wants it, her to be.
気をつけろよ。は
ーい。リムル様。できたです。持って行ってくださいよ。
え、いいの？いい匂い。
リムル様、今日。
Pretty sure he has heat resistance. I believe he can turn it off, or he can ask. Is Sage? Was not called Sage, right? Didn't it have a different name? Because it now got an evolution.
は街の様子でも見に来たんですか？
視察も大事な仕事やからね。
さすが。
Their inspection. Nom 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 nom.
リムル様。
What are we bidding? Did you say what we are bidding? I mean, we saw something akin to a train.
リムル様。
I guess we are bidding it.
差し入れだ。みんなで食べてくれ。
おお。いつもありがとうございます。
Future Mega Train station site. Right. I believe we had in season 3 a big plan about trains. It does make sense. It is going to increase the throughput of people and goods by a lot.
ここに駅ができるんだよな。くー、これぞ男のロマンだ。
ユーラザニアの方も駅の候補地が決まったみたいですね。
ああ、
Eurozania was, I believe, the animal kingdom, right?
建設中の新しい城の1階部分に併設するみたいだ。
What? Excuse me, what? They're gonna build it into the first floor of the new castle. A train station on the first floor of a castle. Sounds insane.
併設するみたいだ。
Imagine you are a king, you are sleeping, oh, so sleepy, and then you just hear a train coming into the station, the bustling of everyone. I feel like this is gonna go bad.
ゲルドたちが頑張ってくれているよ。テンペストとユーラザニア、それに他の国もいずれは魔導列車でつながるんだよ。
Why not the dwarf nation? Was it not even called like Dwarf Town or Dwarfton? No.
なあ、
But why not them? They're inside a mountain. Now the question is, how are we going to do the trains? Because you could have like a simple track. Then you would need to have a little tube at the end so the train can move, can turn around. Or do you have two tracks? So you can have a train one way and a train the other way. Or do you do a round trip? Rimuru to Eurozania to Dwarf Nation to then Rimuru, you know? What is the plan?
外だけでなく町の建設も順調ですぞ。新しい議事堂の完成も近いかと。
ああ、あの無駄にゴージャスなやつね。
The new assembly building, okay?
なや
The
つ。
building to make buildings, I guess.
なやつね。
I mean, why not? It's like if you have more time, you are not really strapped for time and necessity. Why not make it more aesthetic pleasing and then build your own identity where you slowly but surely every building gets similar to this style.
イムル様のご意向を広く知らしめませんと。
まあ、町が発
Do we have a statue of Rimuru? I feel like we should have a statue of him.
展するのはいいことだ。
そういえばダンジョンもどんどん発展しているそうで。
お、そうそう、よくぞ聞いてくれた。ガビルたちの研究施設を洞窟から移したり、地下95階
Members only elf bar. Huh. I mean, right, because of the dwarf city had also an elf bar and he loved the elf bar. So this makes sense. Now the question is, do the girls know about this? Because it's like, he's coming to the elf bar. He's like, oh, I'm so thirsty. I have to go to the elf bar. Meanwhile, he's drowning. If he just would look around him, but no, it has to be elf lady.
そうに特別会員専用でエルフのお店を作ったり、
何がダンジョンだ。あっちもこっちも敵ばっか。レアなブグも出やしねえ。クリアさせる気なんかねえんだ。
Okay, okay. Let's see. So he has some problems with the dungeon. I was pretty sure it had like drops and stuff, right? Because Rimuru is from our world. He is a gamer. He knows how to make it addicting to go down the dungeon. Maybe he's just incompetent. He was never able to go down far enough for
ですからそれはうるせえ。あんなの詐欺じゃねえか。入場料だけ巻き上げやがってよ。これだから魔物はよ。
You do have to be careful. Now, I do not remember, But because the whole problem with the invasion last time was that Rimuru told everyone that they are not really allowed to attack humans. But he did revise that statement, right? They are able to defend themselves now.
なんだと。落ち着け。
Could be a lot of people. But I feel like this is our red-haired guy, right? Yeah.
どうした？揉め事か？
Also forgot his name. But you don't want to mess with him. There are a lot of people you can mess with. This one, not even close. You know, there are a couple people you never want to mess with him. He's one of them. Diabolus is another one. There are also situationally some people you need to be careful about. Shion, normally fine. If you go insult or injure Rimuru, you may want to run away. Same with Shuna? Shuni, Shino, Shuna? Pink haired girl.
何なんだあいつは。
どうした？
I do wonder also, do we have like a system now where people need to go through checkpoints? I feel like that would be a solid idea. So that everyone gets like an idea or whatever. And people that do not behave get thrown out and don't come back in. Just because you don't want people that just make everything worse. You want people that are going to accept what is going on here and are going to integrate themselves.
何かあったのか？
リムル様。
ダンジョンの挑戦者なのですが、何度挑んでも2階層にすらたどり着けないと苦情を。最近多いんですよ。
マジか。とばっちり食らわせて悪かったな。
So maybe I mean, this means there's a problem. You could have like a beginner dungeon for them to level up before they get into this dungeon. You could also have like a little test before they are allowed to enter, where you put them against someone, and if they don't defeat them, they are not allowed to go into the dungeon because they are not strong enough. Again, it is a problem that is going to get worse. We would need a solution.
いえ、ただの難癖です。
負けて腐るだけとは情けない。
とはいえ、こんなことが続くんじゃ運営に影響が。要検討だな。
エレメンタラー。
Alright. Oh. Is this in Tempest? Is this? No, is this? I don't know. I'm just trying to find out because we have the kids are here, but we also have Monster. So this theoretically is Tempest. I don't know if that symbol is Tempest. Also, this the hero. What is she doing here?
精霊を刺激する特殊な魔法使い。彼らの魔法スキルにある特徴、わかる人は？はい。
What are you doing here? I didn't even see you here. Where are you coming from? I mean, there's an empty chair. It would have been nice if here we see him also.
なんでいるの？そりゃ一緒に。
あなた、何をやっているのかしら？
いや、視察を。
邪魔。
Imagine throwing out the king of the city. I hope he just went inside again. He's a slime. He can just go through the little seams.
大丈夫ですか？残念。俺も日向先生に教えてもらいたかったんだ。
Now, again, I do not remember that. When did we bring the children here? I do not remember at all. I understand Hinata being here because last season we more or less rescued her and freed her from whatever was going on. But I just really don't remember bringing the kids here. It makes sense. It makes sense.
けどね。
Maybe this was whenever we found out that the guild master is
あの子たち、日向先生の言うことはおとなしく聞くんですよね。忙しい合間を縫って本当にありがたいです。
日向は精霊を扱うエキスパートだし、あいつらの先生にぴったりかなって。まさか本当に引き受けてくれるとは思わなかったけどね。
あの子たち、テンペストの学校に移って毎日本当に
Oh, so it is. It was not before. Okay, good. Good.
楽しそうなんですよ。
I'm not crazy.
クラスのみんなともあっという間に仲良くなって。
何より勇気が黒だと確信した以上、イングラシア王国には預けてはおけないからな。
Makes sense. So we go back to the beginning, or she's still searching? I guess she's searching because she has like a snack. He didn't bring his food.
何の匂いだ？
She unable to even bring Diabolos to his knee.
これが体調不良。実に興味深い。
何が興味深いだ。そんな体たらくでリムレ様の第二秘書が務まると思っているのか。
それよりもあなた、本気でこれを召し上がっていただくつもりですか？
だったらなんだ。
何作ってるんだ？
これはリムレ。
I mean, she has the ability to make her cooking taste good, right? That is more or less what she got as an ability. It can look incredibly dangerous, but if she cooked it, it is going to turn out good because of her ability. Does it not work on tea? How is she even able to make the drink be dangerous? It's just a drink.
様、実は少しばかり貴重な体験をしており。
そのリムレ様にはですね、
そういえば、シュナ殿がリムル様を
Shuna, okay.
お探しのようでしたが、もうお会いになられましたね。
よかった。こちらにいらしたのですね。
何かあったのか？
Yeah, you forgot your bento, I guess. Also, because Shion is mostly cooking, do they switch every now and then? Because Shuna also wants to care for Rimuru.
新作のおやつ。
First of all, this looks like a bagel. What is that? I mean, what is that? We are going to find out what that is. That it looks like we have like butter or some cream and some Rimuru treat. To be honest, if you served me that, this would probably look incredible. Having a character themed dessert or treat like this. Could be ice cream, could be pudding, could be jello.
うまそう。
リムル様に一番に召し上がっていただきたく、ずっと探しておりました。
シュナさん。
We are not going to. Okay. We are not going to find out. And I feel like this would sell like hotcakes. I just don't know. Is that a bagel? Because it's a treat. Well, what are these? Burger buns? I mean, they look like that, but it could be something else. It could be cake. I don't know. I guess we are not going to find out. So I guess we go and see what Yuki is about.
さてどうしたものか。
Who has like a demon lord at his side, if I remember correctly, or real born demon lord.
リムルは完全に僕のことを疑っているみたいなんだよね。
For good reasons. Now, the thing, however, is that he's not necessarily evil, right? If I remember correctly, the whole point was that he's more or less working against technological advancement, because if they advance too much, then the angels come and the angels destroy everything, and he wants to not have that happening. I believe was one of the reasons. He may still be evil in some other ways.
なるべくならあのスライムとの敵対関係は避けたいところだけど。
あっちゃー、やっぱりちょっかいかけたんがまずかったんちゃいます？
七葉を焚きつけて日向が魔王リムル討伐に動くよう促したのでしょ。それがバレたのではなくて。
せやがてボスのことや、証拠なんて残してないでっしゃろ。
まあね、全てダムラダを通して行ったことだし。だけど僕はシズ先生とあのスライムの関係を知っていて、東の商人との交流を否定できなかった。使っている紙だって帝国製だし、多数の冒険者を抱えるギルドが付き合いはありませんなんて無理があるからね。あちらにすれば状況証拠は揃ったようなものだよ。
では計画の見直しを。疑われている以上このままというわけにはいかないのではなくて。
いや、現状維持で大丈夫だと思う。
ですが
今は敵対する必要がない。そう思わせればいいのさ。人は状況によって見方を変えるものだからね。なんせダンジョンの運営ではあちらだから協力を求めてきたくらいだもん。賞金制度も含めてギルドで宣伝してほしいんだってさ。
いやいや、怪しすぎますやん。罠に違いないよ。
いやー、どうだろう。あれは素直に損得感情から来る提案っぽかったけど。ま。
I mean, it is not wrong. The gate does have a good reach, and especially because the dungeon is made for adventurers, the gate has connection to a lot of adventurers. It makes sense to have the ad going through the adventurers gate, even though you do not agree with what the gate master is doing. Again, I feel like he's not necessarily evil. He's definitely very pragmatic. He's very, I have a goal and I'm going to do whatever I need to achieve that goal. But he doesn't, as far as I remember, did not really do stuff to be evil.
様子を見つつできる手は打っておこう。僕たちの野望のためにも。
そういうことなら。
僕はまだ西側の覇権を諦めたわけじゃないからね。
I mean, he's at least a little bit evil. Again, I believe that was the whole point with Angels. May also have been that it was left out of the show? I don't know. Got mentioned as a side somewhere, somehow, some day.
何なのだ。これは一体何なのだ。
なんか泣けてくるんですけど。
I mean, it looked like jelly. Jello in some
シュ
kind.
ナ。また腕を上げて。
あの会議の方は。
I do not remember who that is. The blonde guy.
会議の方は
I know the other guy is a trader, right? That we rescued and stuff.
というわけでダンジョンのテスト解放を経
100th floor. Okay. Are we going to find out what the dessert is about? It's a jello. What are the buns? Are they like maybe sugar? Crystallized sugar? Maybe something like a meringue? You know, meringue, little bit blowtorch, and you have something you can dip into the... Oh, I can see that. I can definitely see that.
て初の運営会議を行うわけだが正直全然ダメだ街でも陳情を受けて改めて確認したが挑戦者の攻略レベルが低すぎる何の対策もせず一階層で迷いまくるわ欲に目がくらんで F ランクの魔物にもあっさりやられるわ果ては空腹でギブアップなんてやつらまでこのままじゃ10階層に到達する挑戦者が現れるかも疑わしいはっきり言ってダンジョン運営のピンチだ
なんだとそれでは我の出番
Right, I totally forgot. So yeah, it's a problem we have to solve. Many ways we can solve it. Again, tutorial, more or less testing them before letting them in, maybe training. But the whole point is that at the bottom we have Eldora and his lair, and the point is he's there because someone is going to come to him so he can be the big bad evil boss. But if no one gets past even level 10, no one is going to come to him at all, ever. I feel like last season we had a little bit of a competition, right? And they were able to get further.
まだ初心者が多いということもあるのでしょう
Also, the members only elf club, like in the 60s or 70s level, is this part of the dungeon crawl? Is this like, hey, if you get so far down, this is a little bit of a reward, you can become a member and then you can visit? That would be, you know, motivation. That would be a lot of motivation.
ある程度攻略のヒントは必要かもしれないな
それなら攻略に関する講習を行うのはどうでしょう
講習
Now the question is that going to cost money? Sure, you can make some more money, but you are already requiring money for entering, and I believe the item that you need to be revived also costs money. I believe you have to buy that anyway, so it's essentially the entry cost.
どういうこと？
勝手にすみません僕にも分かりそうな話題だったのでつい
いやいや何でも言ってくれ講習って例えば
ゲームでいうところの
So you are also reincarnated? I do not remember. I just don't.
チュートリアルですよアスレチックみたいに戦闘や罠を体験
Okay.
戦闘や罠を体験してもらう体験してもらうんです
いいじゃないか他には
そうですね各階層ごとに宿とか食事処があると嬉しいです
Each floor? That's a little bit much. You need a lot of people. However, every 5th or 10th floor you could have like a safe zone where you have a lodging and stuff.
ダンジョンにはトイレもなくて困っていて
確かに
I mean, a toilet, fine. Restroom, sure. Lodgings,
確か
maybe
に
they mean restroom.
あと使い捨てのセーブポイントとか
おおなるほど
Single use save points. What do you mean? I could see Singer use waypoints where it's like, you know, you get to level 10 or whatever, you activate the waypoint, you get defeated. Next time you can start level 10 once. And if you don't make it to level 11 and activate that waypoint, you have to start from the beginning kind of thing.
それに倒した魔物からのアイテムドロップなんてのもどうです？
Was Rimuru not a gamer? I believe, if I remember correctly, he died because he defended his co-worker and he got stabbed. I don't remember if he was a real gamer, because naturally this would be the better way. Have the monster drop some items, some kind of items. You could also do the pachinko way, that monsters drop like coins or tablets in different rarities. You go out, you go to an exchange parlor, and they then exchange it for money or prizes. You could do that if you wanted.
面白そうだ。
それなら全部できそうだよ。よし、なら採用だ。確かにちょっと不親切すぎたかもな。
However, it has to be difficult to get down further. You can have like the first couple 10, 20 levels be a little bit easier, sure. But you do need to make it more difficult, especially for like the special areas later on, like the elf bar. I would definitely have the elf bar available for everyone. They can be like member, but they have to reach down there at least once. I feel like that would be a really good incentive for people. And then make it at least not expensive.
オブザーバーの正幸くんに感謝だ。
いや、僕なんてぜ。
Right, are you... I believe you are the hero, right? Not hero, but... You are the guy that is super lucky, right? Right, I believe I remember. You are the super lucky guy.
全然。
何言ってんだ。ゲーム好き同士来てもらって正解だったよ。
I mean, it makes sense to have him as like an advisor. Now, this seems like Veldora. I feel like he should also go and get advised by him how he is supposed to play the boss. Because you can't have a boss without multiple phases with him. You know, he's in this form at the beginning. You fight him, you bring him to his knee, and then we get to see Veldora. You know.
小僧、いや、正幸と言ったか。貴様なかなか見どころがあるな。
ありがとうございます。
さすがリムルと同じ異世界人なのよさ。そう。
Yeah, he's also otherworldler, totally lucky. I believe he knows Veldora. Veldora is pretty known. Ramirez? Him a lot of mazes or dungeons or whatever. That one may be a little bit more obscure.
おや、まだ紹介してなかったっけ。この人は俺の親友のベルドラさん。百階層の主を担当してもらっている。
よろしく頼むぞ。
ベルドラ。
こっちはラミリス。このダンジョンを作った妖精でオクタグラムの一人でもある。よろしくね、正幸ちゃん。
オクタグラム。
暴風竜と魔王。
I mean, Rimuru is also a demon lord.
あんたならあたいの
What? Voice acting? Hello?
あたいの射程にしてあげてもいいよ。
ラミリス様、正幸様が困っておられる。
Yeah, if you want to talk this way, grow a more mature body, please.
まあそうなるよね。なんかごめん。
リムル様？
正幸様のおかげでね、素晴らしい改善策が揃いましたが、ついでにもう一つ。
Right, I believe he is more or less in control of finances, right?
このわしからもご提案をよろしいでしょうか？
お
魔王リムルからの挑戦状。すごいニュースが入ってきたよ。ダンジョンの
Oh. So you can fight against Rimuru? Wasn't this already part of the last thing? Wasn't it like the winner, whoever wins the... Because this was the big whole Colosseum, you know, they were fighting against each other, and whoever was the winner was able to then fight against Rimuru.
50階層突破者にはマンスリーボーナスとして正金貨1枚。各ボスモンスターと
Would receive a stellar gold coin as the monthly bonus. So once a month you go past level 50, you get a nice little extra amount of money. I mean, I believe a stellar coin is a lot of money.
ボスモンスター討伐にも報奨金。
So this is a giant ad campaign.
そしてなんと最下層突破者には正金貨100枚。
I mean, for the 100th level you get 100 stellar coins. But you could just go to the 50th level 100 months. That is like 8 years to do the same.
見ろよ、正金貨100枚だってよ。
But it is definitely going to increase the participants of the dungeon.
お前が踏破できるかよ。
And that is I mean, it is smart to be like, hey, level 100, you get a bunch of money, but if you make it past level 50, you get a lot of money. And I believe, again, a stellar coin is already a bunch. I don't know how long you can survive off that, but if I had to guess, probably a couple years at least.
大盤振る舞いですな。テンペストですか。行ってみるか、テンペスト。腕が鳴るぜ。
And this is where I would like some kind of system where we can throw people out and not let them enter again. I don't know if there is something along those lines, maybe a force field or whatever. I do not remember. I remember that there was a bunch of that going on with the war to stop communication and magic. So maybe there is another one that more or less doesn't allow people in that got thrown out or excommunicated.
おお、反応ありありだな。
最下層突破者に正金貨100枚って本気だったんですね。
まあ、ターゲットはね、スポンサーとなり冒険者を雇う貴族ですからな。ほらもうこのくらいは積みませんと。それに
Interesting.
最下層を守るのはベルドラ様。
Yeah, that is true, but it is interesting that the idea is, hey, an adventurer is not supposed to get that far down. And the reward is not for adventurers. It is for nobles that support adventurers with like equipment and training and send them down. So essentially something like a tournament, a sports tournament. Interesting. So there could be a whole economy growing around that reward. Now, Vaidora as the final boss, yeah, he's probably, you can't defeat him that easily. But he's also the final boss. And he loves his manga and anime and whatnot. So he probably wants to make it in a way that he can be defeated. So that the big celebration is going on, you know, the big bad boss is defeated. I feel like that is the idea, at least somewhat. Also, it would increase the draw for the dungeon if someone is able to defeat the dungeon to get the 100 coins, and you bring out another reward for 100 coins. So that everyone is like, see, it is possible. Let's log in and try it as well.
偉大なる粒子であるこの我を倒せる者などおるまい。
万が一もないってわけだ。
What about Dragon Girl as example? I forgot her name.
おっしゃる通りで。
ということで正幸くんも頼んだよ。
僕ですか？
チーム先行には広告塔としてバンバン活躍してもらわないと。
勇者様の宣伝効果は絶大ですからな。各いうわしもね、あれですよ。
Now, if I remember correctly, they were able to show the progress inside the dungeon. They had like some screens and stuff. So I do wonder if they do this again, with at least for the sponsored run, where they showcase, hey, people can make it far enough, at least level 50, and then maybe show even the elf bar, maybe not. You don't want Shuna and Shion to know about the elf bar. But maybe showcase that, so that at least the men are more willing to try to get that far.
活躍をこの目で見られて眼福ですわい。
はい。
じゃあなー。おう、また明日。
I guess they live all together.
お、酒場の売り上げが上がってる。ダンジョンが活気づけば街にもいい影響が出そうだな。
はい。すべてはリム。
Why is she so conserved?
ブル様の読み通りかと。
他の売り上げは。
So she made that? Okay.
お、茶葉を変えたのか？いつもと味が違うけど。すみません。すぐに取り替えますので。もしかしてシオンが？
Right, she's fighting with Diablo about the secretary position, right?
リムル様、私が毒味して問題ないことは確認しております。
うん。うまい。よく頑張ったな、シオン。はい、
ありがとうございます。おかわり入れてきますね。よし。
では、私もそろそろ。
ディアブロ
You mean you go away to do stuff, or?
そういえばファルムス攻略の後、お前には褒美を与えてなかったな。
褒美など、私はリムル様のお役に立てることが望みですので。
そうは言っても。
では一つ、私も雑事を任せられる部下が欲しい。
Okay, so Rimuru has to make one, or are you just going to summon someone?
しいと思います。
ああ、強力なデーモンがお茶組とか嫌だよな。
Yeah, no. He is not going to stop serving you tea. Serving tea in general, sure. But serving tea to you, there's no great rewards than that.
それは違います。リムル様のお世話はこの私の大事な仕事ですので。そうではなく、人の国を滅ぼすような雑事をですね。
You know, simple miscellaneous tasks like killing people, torturing people, bringing nations down, you know, simple stuff.
ね、 代わりに行わせる手下を用意すれば、私は常にリムル様のおそばにおられますので。
For that, you need a very strong subordinate?
お許しいただけるなら、古い知り合いを。
An old friend? What do you mean? Come on. Are we going to summon other colors or?
勧誘してみようかと。その際により白となる肉体を用意していただきたいのです。
ベレッタに与えたような人形でいいのか？
はい、文句は言わせません。
わかった。じゃあ用意しとくから、お前は怪我をしないように帰ってこいよ。
承知しました。
Now I'm interested who we are going to get. Who is he going to summon? I'm assuming it's one of the colors. It may also be maybe one of his subordinates from the demon realm.
団長の思いですが、しばらくの間、リムル様のおそばを離れることをお許しください。
はいはい。
では、失礼いたします。
So he is going somewhere.
さて。ソエ。
Sorry.
流星公爵の周辺で何か変わったこと？
I believe that I'm assuming this is going to be the Greed Girl.
いえ、今のところ動きはありません。
そうか。
Oh, it is.
そのまま見張って背後関係を当たってくれ。
承知。
Oh no. Kingdom of Citrosso. First off, I see something that looks German-like. Where is this? Oh, it's her.
西側諸国の完全支配まであともう一歩なの。ロッツォ一族の支配のため長い時間をかけて進めてきたのよ。それなのに。
I guess Rimuru is in the way.
テンペスト、恐ろしい国なのよ。
お前ならば障害ではあるまい。心配はしておらん。
もちろんよ。もちろんなのよ、おじいさま。
Isn't he under her control or something like that?
元勇者、そして我らロットの祖たる偉大なおじいさまの悲願だもの。必ず叶えると協力を誓ったわ。
マリアベル、お前はわしの希望だ。人の世を滑るのは断じて魔王などではない。我々人類であるべきだ。
I mean, it's like, oh, my hero, the grandfather, was such a strong guy. But I, the granddaughter, the little girl, has to do all the stuff. I mean, he doesn't seem too great if he can't do this himself. So this is the ending. Stuff happening? Okay. What? Be full of blood. Okay. Very ominous. But as I assumed, we have a little bit of a reintroduction. We see some of the more or less projects we have at hand and how they evolve. Definitely already better. We did not spend any time in the conference room, which is already a plus. Oh. I mean, oh, there we go. This one, probably very delicious. So we also saw the children came to the city, problems with the dungeon, we rectify. We prepare for some conflict. We are preparing a train. We are preparing for Diablo to ask a friend to come serve Rimuru because he's not strong enough, I guess. And it seems like most of the conflict is around fighting against the greed girl. If I remember correctly, she had like greed or something. Also, we saw that Yuki is doing stuff, but he may not be as involved. It is interesting that he wants to take over the Western nations. He wants to have full control. The Greed Girl wants full control, but for the Greed Girl, Tempest is in the way for some reason. But for the Guild Master, Tempest does not seem to be in the way, at least not now. Okay. So we will see. Again, clear that the first episode is going to be a little bit slower. We are going to ramp, I'm assuming. Definitely gonna be very interesting to watch.